What's good, man? It's your boy Juicy J, man. Shout out to Virtual Homework Podcast.
What's up,
you motherfucking pieces of shit?
Oh.
Edit, beep that out.
What did he even say?
Don't know. It was. They're all compliments. Don't worry.
Okay. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Virtual Homework Podcast with your hosts, Dana and Sam. This is episode 26.
It is 26. 2 + 6 is 8.
So we have a podcast for every letter of the alphabet. Jesus Christ, I cannot talk right now. And I'm still doing Sober October. I should have many reasons to talk. No, sorry. I should have no excuse not to talk. Jesus.
I don't talk without at least half a White Claw. So,
yeah, he's actually a mute. The only time I ever speak to him is when I shove alcohol down his throat.
It's true.
But we are actually coming a little bit serious at the beginning of this podcast because podcasting is under attack. I'm not sure if you heard the news, but the leader of the Fire Festival, currently serving a 6-year federal sentence, was put in solitary confinement for starting a podcast. I don't know the logistics.
Wait, what?
Yeah, no, I'm not even joking. The guy who ran
I followed that Fire Festival thing pretty closely. I didn't hear about that.
This was news that broke either today or yesterday. The guy who started the Fire Festival is currently serving a multi-year federal prison sentence. I don't know the logistics, but he did try to start a podcast while in prison. I guess he was probably just getting recorded through people like visiting him.
Imagine being in jail and like trying to do a podcast.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's 2020. Everyone's got to start podcasts. But no, he's been placed in solitary confinement, I guess, as punishment. I didn't know it was illegal to create a podcast in prison. Apparently, it's not good. I mean, like, there's too many podcasts, so I understand that part. It is probably in
the
poor
videos
taste
of like people
to joke about a
people
person
in prison who do like TikToks and stuff like that. They like sneak in phones and like they do like crazy shit.
That might have been it. Because I'm wondering like why him making a podcast. I should have probably done research on the topic I'm literally opening for the podcast. But no, I like podcasts are under attack. Next thing you know, we're going to be thrown in jail for the words that Dana is about to speak.
We. I was going to talk about how oppressed we are, but that's like
we as young white men in America are very oppressed for making a podcast. I'm not sure if that's going to fly.
No. I didn't even say it. Like you're the one who said it. You're the one getting canceled.
You're the one
who
was like, "Oh, I shouldn't say this," and we were all thinking what you shouldn't say.
Well, but I didn't say it. You did.
Yeah,
I said it was stupid.
I said it was stupid. Okay, you know what? Let's talk about literally anything else. Let's talk about what did we play this week?
We played Mommy 3.
Yeah, Mommy's Boy 3.
Mother
a Dana
3,
story.
Or Earthbound 2. You know, previously we played the Mother 1, then we played Earthbound, and then we're playing the thrilling conclusion to the series.
The most obvious game pick that we've ever done in our lives.
And might I say, the absolute significantly best version in the series?
Oh, 100%. The thing I wanted to say first is like, holy shit, this is a way better game than Earthbound. Like way, way, way better. This is actually like so far shaping up to be one of the better games I've played. Like I'm really enjoying this.
I'm not even halfway through it, and I literally love this game. Like I was sitting at work, like, fuck, dude, like I want to go home and play this. I've just been so busy this week, I haven't been able to finish it.
So I guess let's get into how much have you played of this game? So this game is actually a little bit different than Earthbound. So to go into what this game is, different. I guess, like Mother 1 and Earthbound, it's a RPG where you're
like
basically fighting aliens.
Guy, kinda.
But yeah, this is the least RPG of all the Mother games, I would say. It's a pretty linear game. Yeah, this game basically takes place, you are a different set of people per chapter. There's multiple chapters of this game. I'm personally on chapter 4. I just finished chapter 3 today before the podcast. How far are you?
I'm about partway into chapter 3, so.
But it basically goes through the story of these aliens coming. I'm not actually sure if they're aliens, but there's some aliens involved. We're really...
Like people with pig masks or
yeah,
something
there's
like
people in pig masks that are coming along. I feel like this game does a really good job of like revealing things when it's necessary. We don't really actually know too much.
So I'm going to make the point to say one of my major points over this game versus the previous two games, this game actually has a story.
Yeah,
actually, like that's one of my huge things. Like there's like cut scenes. There's like you are invested in the characters.
There's
like,
chapters.
It explains there's chapters. It explains why you're doing things, where you're going. Versus in the previous games, it was like, all right, you're going here, you figure it out. Like it's like there's no exposition or anything. Versus like I am genuinely invested in these characters in this game, which is really really cool.
So yeah, you basically start out. There's these weird guys in pig mask, and for lack of a better term, they're just making your life worse. Like pretty much they start they burn down a forest, which I guess actually is significantly worse than just making your life bad.
Yeah.
But basically all their actions are causing chaos. Animals start going crazy. You start out as instead of Ness, or actually I chose some pretty dope character names. I
just use the default.
I know you use the default, but instead of Lucas and I forget what his brother's name is, I was a Bean and Speeve. My mom's name was Money Signs. My dad's name was Gangnam, short for Gangnam Style, I know. My dog was named Lime after Lyme disease. Of course, my favorite food was Cheeto. I loved the Lord, so that was the awesome item. And this where it got weird, because like I didn't realize how many characters we'd be naming. I thought they'd be like minor parts.
There are so many characters in this game, and I like you were making the point I think earlier is like you don't play as like a child who is like a prodigy that has like every psychic power in the universe. You start the game as like a normal kind of dude with like a stick. You just go around like kind of beating things. It kind of puts in the perspective of like you're not some like hero to save the world yet, which is what I kind of like.
Yeah, and I think that we're actually going to get a little bit more heavy into what the story is. So if you are looking to play Mother 3, which we recommend you do, I'm not going to say turn off the podcast. Maybe look at the notes below to see when we stop talking about the plot. We're going to get a little spoiler heavy because it's kind of hard not to. You start playing as the dad in this game, and basically the forest is on fire and you can't find your kids and wife. So you basically go around beating people, and not beating people, beating animals.
You're actually not fighting people. It's not like you're fighting random hippies or like, zombie people that aren't zombies like in the previous two games. Like I said, this game feels a lot more real because you're fighting like monsters instead of like I said, hippies.
Yeah. You basically find out that, oh no, the pigmen made the dinosaurs that are friends with your kids. Well, it's hard to explain. They basically killed your mom. They killed your mom, and the game got extremely dark. Extremely dark, really quickly.
Extremely dark. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's kind of sucks that we have to spoil it a little bit, but this is literally like in the first like 10 minutes of the game, so it's like
okay, maybe like first like 45 minutes of the game, but yeah, you basically as the dad go completely nuts and start like beating the shit out of people because you're so mad that your wife died that you're basically got a revenge tale. That's how it starts out. And the way that the game works is when you progress through the story, there are certain times where you're basically handing the baton off. After concluding the story of the father, we pass it over to the thief, who I named Orgy, because I did not think he would be a major player in the game. So I'm like, oh, I'll name this guy Orgy. It'll be fun for like 3 lines.
The only funny thing I did, I always name my favorite food ass, and then my likes like asses. So I just have like an entire thing of pictures in my Discord that are just like, oh, I can't wait for mom to make us some nice asses when I get home and stuff like that. Or like, I could really go for some asses right now.
They actually kind of dial up the amount they're talking about your favorite food in this game too.
Yeah.
They're talking about Cheeto a lot on my screen.
This game almost isn't like has almost next to no resemblance of the previous two games. Like
I 100% disagree. There's a massive callback, but you haven't gotten there yet.
Well, a callback. I
mean like I'm way more than a callback, like a complete parallel with Earthbound, but you haven't gotten there yet. It's in chapter 4.
Okay, well, we'll get there. Continue. So it's like then you go into the thief and you kind of like follow his story and you kind of see how that intertwines with like the previous stories and stuff like that. And then honestly, I like that we spoiled one thing and like both of us haven't gotten that far to really talk about the plot. Then you basically pass off the baton to other characters. Eventually they all meet up and like you do things together. You start playing as like a monkey, and this game, I originally said
in my mind that like this, I'm so surprised they didn't port this over to the US audience because it would do really well. But I realized that well, there's really two things. The first I'll mention is that this game I don't think would localize really well. There are some really mean elements to this game. Like for example, you're in chapter 3, which you're playing as a monkey and you're basically captive by the evil people, and you're constantly getting shocked, like constantly.
Like, there's some very mean, and I guess it may not work because of a cultural difference and stuff, but I know there's parts in chapter 1 where you're dealing with like
gay showmen.
You're basically dealing with men in dresses who like, you know, say how much they love you and stuff like that. Where I feel like American audience may not what's the word I'm looking for? Be as appreciative or accepting of such a thing.
I mean, they were
you
dope.
Also have. Oh, they were super cool and stuff like that. You also have your dead wife's dad hitting on you in a cave and stuff like that, but, you know.
I also think the reason why this game might have not been localized is because, I mean, like, we really haven't talked about it, and it's really important to talk about why Mother 3 is so... it's not even, like, mysterious, but it's just, like, it's a thing that's, like, put on this weird pedestal because of its massively long development cycle. It spanned 4 consoles, so it was originally going to be on the SNES, then the N64... then the GameCube, and then the Game Boy Advance is what it finally landed on.
Might I say the Game Boy Advance is perfect for this game?
It's perfect for this game, but it came out in 2006, which is 2 years after the DS came out.
Oh, wow.
So this game was like super late into the GBA's lifespan.
Yeah,
so I think that's really the reason
sense.
why it wasn't localized to the US audience, because like people were already on the DS here. Like there was probably a lot more. I think Japan has a more mobile audience in the first place, so they were probably fine getting a GBA
I feel like
game.
a lot of people may have stayed on those older consoles, but I feel like in the US, as soon as the DS came out, everyone jumped onto that.
Yeah, 100%. I think that this really is a masterclass on like a GBA game. First of all, can we just say that the GBA had the best era in pixel art like ever? Like
absolutely.
Everything looks so beautiful because it's like professionally made pixel art, but like it's also like so advanced. It's like the most advanced pixel art you can get.
It's like almost like better Super Nintendo, I want to say, because Super Nintendo is masterclass pixel art, but like I feel like the GBA really refined that. And I always say all the time, GBA is so like criminally underrated with how many good games. There's like hundreds of good games on the system, as far as RPGs as well. I mean, like Golden Sun and stuff like that, just to name a few.
Yeah, and also the fact that like we played Mother 1 on the Mother 1 plus 1/2 ROM hack, and like you could just tell like this game is such a massive step up from other games in the GBA as well. Like it's crazy.
I mean, like graphically, every square inch of this game is an upgrade over the previous games. Whether it's like the animations, like the cutscenes, like there's actual cutscenes in this game that like have pertinent dialogue. Like the animations in the battle are freaking cool. As far as like the little things with like your character popping up when you choose your character. The biggest thing for this game, it's not as much about the big. It's more about this small quality of life is what really made me enjoy this game so much more.
Yeah, they really improved on a lot of stuff on Earthbound especially. First of all, you could run. It's like this weird run mechanic where you like charge up and then you start running until you hit a wall. I actually thought it was pretty fun. It's like, it's more than just...
and it's actually used a lot
Yeah.
with like the environments and stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%. And like there's a little bit of skill to it too, so it's like a little bit satisfying to use versus just running around and speeding everything up. I will also say that like they pretty much fixed the inventory equip system. Like everything's super easy to use. There's no more talking versus checking something.
No,
they just know you want to hit A on everything. Like they understood exactly what they had wrong with Earthbound.
Either LOA. It's like they literally took each individual issue with the original 2 games and fixed them. It's no longer isometric. It's like its own kind of art style that kind of is reminiscent of some of the pixel art from the original games, but just how like the maps and the worlds are placed out are completely different.
Yeah.
The colors are vibrant. I could go on for years.
They use frogs to save. We're frog boys now. Fuck the phone.
So some points I have to make is like I think the dialogue is really, really funny in this game because there's an actual story, because you get a little bit more of a feel for each of the individual characters. Like some of the things they say are really freaking funny and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree. And you know that it would probably be even better if it was like an official translation. These are just some people who really enjoy the series and wanted to have an English translation. I definitely think like One more thing on the actual gameplay. Did you get the like rhythmic battling system?
I couldn't. So here's the thing. Yeah, this is a new system that's in this game over the previous one. Is that there's a rhythmic battle system that if you can hone in onto the beat of the battle and you hit either L or A as you're attacking. With the normal attacks, you can hit up to 16 extra times.
Okay, I wasn't sure if there was a cap. It usually was 8 or 9 for me.
Yeah. So what happens is that you can put the enemy to sleep and you can feel for his heartbeat. It'll like be like boom, 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 or whatever, and then you just hit in time with that, and you can hit up to 16 times.
Yeah, and I think the one thing you failed to mention is that this almost invariably goes to the music. So like,
yes,
if a song's like ba ba da ba 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 ba, it's like ba ba. Like to the music. Like it's not super intuitive. Like you could probably get a couple combos if you don't like know the heartbeat, but if you do know the heartbeat,
it's really something that you pick up on as you play and like practice with it and stuff like that. As with anything, like off the bat, like I wasn't getting it at all, but then I started to get a little bit more as I was playing with it, which actually made like for a really cool battle system because each different character has a different instrument apparently.
Yeah, 100%. And like I'll be honest, I actually had to look up a YouTube video because I'm like, what are they talking about? So that was like one of the only times where I actually looked up anything with this game. I think this game is honestly like pretty easy in terms of difficulty. Like we talked about frog save points, they're everywhere, and I would say the general leveling curve, it's like not grindy or anything. But
well, it's like the previous game is my hugest problem, and like I said, this game is fixing all my qualms with like the previous games. Is that like I felt like the difficulty curves in the previous game was too fucking far off. You know, like one enemy might one shot you versus another enemy is like an absolute joke. This game is, I feel like the enemies on average are a little bit harder than the joke enemies in the previous game, but there was nothing that I felt like was going to instantly one shot, and it made me enjoy it significantly more.
Some of the bosses, I feel like if you used items like previously that you shouldn't have, like some bombs, it would make it significantly harder. But I was smart with my items, and I didn't really have an issue. But I'm like, oh, if someone...
I'm one of those RPG people that save everything.
I'm definitely a hoarder when it comes to those.
Like you were saying, the inventory systems are significantly better as far as like organization. All your key items go to their own screen, which is really, really cool. So you don't have to worry about that clogging up your screen. It's not like, oh, do I keep this? Do I not keep this? It's like, nope, goes to its own separate screen. You don't have to fucking worry about it.
The only thing I really kind of miss from the original games is the auto battling system, which they removed. Yeah. But I mean, I understand why they did it because they have the rhythmic battling system and they want you to actually do that.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to, you can just spam L like over and over.
Yeah,
yeah. So that's basically what you do.
It's not auto. Like that. I want to be able to turn off my brain while
I play. Another
play.
Thing, if you remember, like one of my biggest qualms, that I didn't know what the fuck items did. If you press select on any item at any times, it tells you what the fuck it is.
Yeah, I mean, with like this is literally so much better than Earthbound and Mother 1.
I want to play this like right now. Like it's so fun. Like I this is probably like a 9 or I want to say almost 10 out of 10 for me, and I'm not even like halfway through it.
Yeah, I'm on chapter 4, so I'm a little bit further than you.
On gameplay alone, not putting away like enjoying the story, which I do enjoy the story, like physical gameplay and quality of life. Like you kind of wonder, would we feel the same way about it if we play the other games first?
So I was like looking at, because I was trying to find the best way to play this game, because for those who don't know, I think we mentioned it, this game is not localized to the US. You can only play this game through, you gotta buy the ROM legally, right? And then you gotta dump the ROM legally, and then you gotta apply this person's totally legal English hack to your dumped ROM. That's how we're both playing this.
If I'm not mistaken, you can legally buy the game, and then you can, if you like buy the game in some form, then you can legally download the ROM, right? Okay. Or do you have to dump it?
I don't know. We both dumped our own copies. We're safe, right? Totally.
Yeah. I own the game.
Yeah, we both own Mother 3 for GBA. Basically, the Earthbound subreddit is how I like found the proper version. It really wasn't that hard because like literally this is like the official, like everyone's like, yeah, you play this version of the game. But I was like reading a thread that's like, which game should I play first? And like I had people say like, oh, you gotta play Earthbound then Mother 3, and like some people were playing like Mother 3 first, and it's like, oh, I really love Mother 3, and I went back to Earthbound and I love that too. I'm like thinking like if I played Mother 3 and I went back to Earthbound, I'd be like, wow,
I was like, these games suck.
This game kind of sucks. Yeah. I honestly say, I want to say, if it wasn't for chapter 4, which, okay, I will do minor spoilers for you, and I'm sorry, you're going to have to hear it. You can't just go la 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 la. You can't do that. No, don't do that. There is a massive time skip, not massive, a multi-year time skip between chapter 3 and 4. And they kind of turn everything on the heels that you knew so far. And I feel like once that happens, like you you'll appreciate playing Earthbound and then playing this game, because you'll notice the similarities. And I'm sorry for spoiling that for you. You're probably sad. You're probably going to cry now. And I've seen it before. I've seen this ugly cry face on the podcast, and it's fine.
Oh, no.
We'll just edit it out. But
I'm ugly crying right now.
where was I even going with that? I feel like I just spoiled it for you, and then I had no payoff.
Yeah, there was no point to that other than like ruin the experience and surprise for me.
I know where I was. I know where I was going with that. Besides that, I feel like Mother 3 and Earthbound don't really share that much similarities. I actually almost struggle to call this a like what qualifies an RPG.
Like it's, well, I mean, it is an RPG. It's story-driven, like role-playing game. You're role-playing through a story, and then there's usually text-based battles and stuff like that. This is a classic RPG in my opinion.
I feel like this. Maybe it's an RPG in genre. Like it's very restrictive in how it plays versus a game like Earthbound.
Like 90% of RPGs are like this.
Okay, well maybe I haven't played enough RPGs.
No, you haven't. You fucking piece of shit.
This game just doesn't really feel like Earthbound. Earthbound is a lot more open world than this game. This game is just like every single game felt like it went from more point A to point B. Like Mother 1 was like super open to what you could do. Like we completely play the game in completely different orders. And then Mother 2, Earthbound, like it had some like roadblocks that were definitely required.
To be fair though, 1 and 2 both had intended routes. I guess you could go other way. See, when you say open-ended, I guess I didn't understand it because I just went to where like the main mission always told me to go. It's like I would talk to every NPC and say, "Oh, you should go to Smile Town or whatever the fuck it's called," and it's like, "All right, I'm gonna go there and figure out what the fuck to do."
Mother 1, I like did the notes in very like not the correct order. Like,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't beat it, so
Earthbound was definitely more linear, but this game is like straight up like you can't go off the path.
Yeah, and like I said, most RPGs are actually like that. So I mean, very RPG.
That plus the combat system, like really for the majority of what you've played and what I've played, the only thing they share is like some like sounds and like animations, like
well, it's like the battles are kind of different, the same. There's far less enemies, which is really nice. I want to say there's like 60% less enemies.
That and they don't chase you. Game. They don't chase you.
They do. Some of them do.
They chase you. Oh, sorry. They chase you, but they're not faster than you. So you can actually escape them, which is pretty cool.
And stuff like that. There's not as much like 50 enemies piling up on you all at once because it seems like you don't have as many AoE attacks. It's a lot more single target focused as far as attacks go and stuff like that for like the first part of the game and stuff like that.
But what I'm trying to get at is like if you play Mother 3 and then you play Earthbound, like these games are supposed to be loosely connected. I don't think it's not like a straight up. It's not like Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. Like you don't need to watch the first or play the first to play the second. Most games, honestly, with sequels are like that. I feel like we discussed that. The thing about this game is that like if you play Mother 3 and then Earthbound, you're gonna be like, this is not only like a completely different game, it's just the worst game. So like I feel like I would turn off Earthbound if I played Mother 3 and expected that.
Yeah.
When you put a game in development for like over 10 years for a GBA game, it's probably gonna be pretty good. This game was supposed to be in 3D for the N64. That would have been shitty, I think.
So many games though are put into development hell and then end up fucking sucking ass.
Yeah,
like
honestly.
Nukem games. I can't think of any other off the top of my head.
Another point I want to talk about
is another point I wanted to make that I didn't bring up earlier is like the individual characters. My problem with the previous games, I feel like a lot of the characters, like battle wise, didn't feel different enough to play with them than one another. Versus, like, I think it's very cool how they separated the types of characters in this game as far as their attack styles, their abilities, and things like that. They truly feel like different characters. Like, in Mother 1 and 2, it's like, all right, everybody either attacks or has the same, like, spells or whatever, or similar spells and stuff like that. Versus I feel like a lot of the abilities, like the thief guy has like staples an enemy down or uses his thief tools. There's like 8 different thief tools you can use. Versus like the main guy you start with, Flint, which is the dad. He has like some power up abilities and like defensive abilities and like some smashing abilities and stuff like that.
I mean, that's just a new skill tab. Like instead of like some people having PSI and some people not, it's like you could have PSI, you could have skills. They just knew how to switch things up in this game. I'm just glad you really like the game, because like I was scared when you said you wanted to talk about this like really bad. I thought it was going to be like another dunk on it, like Earthbound. I was like, oh, I actually like this one. I'm hoping.
I really mean it. Like if we weren't doing the podcast, I would be playing this right now. I'm just upset that I didn't play it as much as I wanted to, because I want to beat this. Like I love this. I loved the GBA. Like this brought me back to classic GBA RPGs, which is something I fucking love. So.
Yeah, I love the GBA. I wish I had a Pocket. Analog is the worst company of all time. I've already gone into this rant so many times, but I will probably beat this game. I will definitely beat this game, but I gotta beat Titanic first, okay? I gotta beat Death Stranding first. I gotta beat Legal Dungeon first. This game's far on my list.
Titanic is so easy. It's like fucking 4 hours. It's so short.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna like as soon as I have time beat this game. I'm not done with this game 100%.
But don't you wish this was on Switch though? Like, can you see yourself like playing it a lot more if it was on Switch?
Unless there's like something truly problematic that like would get Nintendo in trouble for localizing this game in the future, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't localize this, because it would be extremely popular.
Oh yeah, it'd be extremely popular now. I think the fan translation really does its service though, because I feel like the translations or localizations for the previous two games felt so rigid versus this feels like true like dialogue. You know what I mean?
They wouldn't keep some of the stuff in, I know for a fact. Like,
oh no, they would not. They would censor, like they censored so much with the original Earthbound that they would probably censor a lot of the there's a little bit of an innuendo going on and stuff like that.
Yeah, they'd probably have to like they'd have to remove Chapter 3 because Peter Gabriel would sue.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you even Shock the Monkey? Shock the monkey, shock the monkey. Funny joke. Don't hang up. Please don't hang up.
So overall, what do you think about this game?
Like, I fucking hated it. The worst experience of my life. No, of course I thought it was good. I would say I'm happy it made me remember that one meme video.
What meme video?
Thanks for Nothing with the bear animation.
Huh?
So I linked this video to you earlier, and I feel like you just like were like, oh, it's just some random stupid thing he sent me. But no, this was like a very popular meme from like 2007.
Oh, this.
Yeah. And I was like,
oh wait, that's the bear from this.
No, it's the song when the guy is dancing to unlock the door. It's the bum ba na dun 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 dun. That's Earthbound. That's Mother 3 music. I'm like, oh shit, it's the Thanks for Nothing song. I was so happy.
When did you link me this? This must have been like fucking forever ago.
2 days ago.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, yesterday.
I mean, I linked you a TikTok about geography and you didn't care, so it's
well,
okay.
it was about a guy eating Mentos or something.
In like North Senegal or something like that.
No, I was like, oh, you don't know about the Andaman Islands? This noob. And then it was just a meme about some guy in the Andaman Islands, which is apparently only inhabited by people who do not
Listen,
make contact.
I know you like geography, so I was trying to get on your level, you know? I was trying to connect with you, and you give a fuck.
That's like saying, like, oh, I know you like WoW, so I'm going to talk about Gruul. You don't like it. You think I sound like a dummy.
I'm leaving the call.
I'm not talking about Gruul. I'm just using an example. You see...
I'm getting ready to leave the call.
Getting ready to leave the call when I talk about Gruul
my fingers on the button.
Gruul and Legolas.
So I give this an absolute fucking play out of 10.
Yeah,
I think this
okay.
This is probably a top 3 like on the podcast that I've played, which is so funny. That's like it's like a fucking handheld.
Is number 1 still The Witness?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
that game was
like The Witness.
Like that game was like impactful, man. Like
I don't
game,
think we ever talked about like I showed you like 4 weeks after that like the super secret ending, and you're like, why is this game so good?
Yeah, it was just like the secret ending didn't like do much else, but like it was just.
It's like, oh, this game's so creative. Oh my god.
Well, that game's like you know, it was made by like so it's like
made by Edited Out Incarnate.
I mean that in like a
made by Edited Out sense. Incarnate. No way that's going in.
Just beep that out. Beep out everything I say that's offensive. So what else happened this week?
Well, before we end, I have to agree. I would rate this a Play the Witness out of 10.
Yeah, Play the Witness.
No, so like I'm trying to think of like you don't play if you're like interested in Mother 3, you don't have to play Earthbound, you don't have to play Mother 1, you definitely don't have to play Mother 1. Like it's completely like it's not even they do not even invoke the same emotions. I was not thinking about Mother 1 when I was playing Earthbound.
I will say though, I'm glad I played all 3 sequentially because it gave me a frame of reference and the ability to appreciate each subsequent one that much more.
or less in the case of Earthbound. I would definitely rate these Mother 3 by far, and then Mother 1, and then close behind it, Earthbound.
I want to say Mother 1 was better than Mother 2, which is kind of...
I mean, there's always context. Like, I feel like Mother 1 had, like, a lot of shit going for it, but it was, like, on the NES.
I think, like I said, we only liked it because it had the easy ring. If it didn't have the easy ring, we'd probably think it was the worst.
Yeah, pretty much. But in other news...
what do you got for me?
You're the one who said we had a big ass... Oh, we did? Okay, so... What's the deal? Why didn't we run for Congress? Because we could have been Twitch famous if we ran for Congress.
Dude, fucking AOC was on Twitch. Like, that's like literally awesome. Like, the biggest problem and like I feel like the biggest dissolution people have with politics nowadays is that everyone's like 90. This is really putting politics in the forefront of young people's minds and like connecting them in a way that actually feels kind of genuine.
I thought the biggest problem was that like someone made Among Us unplayable for like 6 hours today. They made every single lobby spam Trump MAGA 2020 as a retaliation for having AOC on Twitch.
Yeah, that makes people want to vote for Trump for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I wanted to play my video game, and then I saw that I can't play it unless I vote for Trump. So I'm gonna vote for Trump because otherwise, how am I going to be able to play my video game? He's holding it hostage.
And then there was that thing, the article I linked you. It was like Jeb Puss
is the best misspeaking I've ever heard for Jeb Bush.
Listen, I have a speech impediment. It's called, I went to public school. Jeb Bush picks horrible night to start Twitch channel. And just like a picture of him with like 0 viewers, like fucking streaming on Twitch. But see, it's not really, it's like a fake article, but...
Yeah, it's the hard drive, which... they try a little too hard, but they're probably the second best satire website besides The Onion.
Yeah.
I mean, Jeb Bush should not have played Fortnite. Fortnite it's out.
But AFC got like upwards like 400,000 viewers. That like was more than like the North American League tournaments and stuff like that, which frequently get like 200, 300,000 viewers. Which just goes to show how many people are invested this time around in the election. So I'm excited to see the results and be done with this whole shebang.
We've talked about this before. It's not going to be done. It's going to be a forever thing. But I mean, like, we're not to get super political here. We're not going to tell you who to vote for. I think it's pretty obvious the way we both lean, especially if you go on Dana's Twitter
Kanye
and you see
West
him like
2020.
retweeting like burn down the White House, socialism forever. But no, we're not going to tell you who to vote for, but voting is cool, and voting is not virtual, but it is homework. So do your voting homework. There we go.
Do your homework. Don't do it virtually. Do it in person. Wear a mask and vote. It's important.
I will say it was really weird for Twitch to like DMCA ban AOC's account for playing Smash Mouth We Will Rock You.
I like how you like said you were trying to think of like the funniest song to add to that. You should have just been like just some 3 6 Mafia song that's like kill a motherfucker,
slob on my knob
kill a motherfucker, kill.
The thing is, I could honestly see AOC listen to 3 6 Mafia, so I had to do a non-existent cover by Smash Mouth of We Will Rock You.
But no, speaking in other Twitch
speaking
news,
of the best transitions of all time to another topic.
You were talking about the fucking DMCA shit, which is actually quite scary. So many Twitch people ignored the issue that happened over the summer where they're kind of warned, like, hey, like this is going to go down. My understanding is that the music companies finally like, hey, we're gonna fuck people up over this. Like, you have to do something about people playing music on their streams, which is absolutely so archaic and very upsetting. I mean, I get it. I get it's the law, but these laws are made by boomers who don't know fucking shit about shit, and it's just very upsetting that this is like a song being played in the background of like a Fortnite. Is that really a replacement for like the actual song? Like I guess there's like the arguments to be made and stuff like that, but basically what happened is everyone had to basically delete all their VODs, like 12 years of VODs and clips and everything. All their memories gone and stuff like that. And Twitch has no system in place to find the things that are DMCA-able in those clips, so everyone just had to get rid of everything, which is absolutely heartbreaking for some streamers.
Yeah, so Twitch has had a very long history with DMCA. It's really been unbelievably relaxed compared to other platforms like
Yeah.
YouTube. If anyone remembers, like way back in like 2013, I remember mass outrage over VODs getting muted for the first time. Everyone's like, you can't mute VODs, and like eventually it's like, okay, that was the status quo for literally 7 years, and then now finally they're actually doing something about it. They would occasionally get random copyright strikes from companies, but. Yeah, as Dana said, about 6 months ago, there was a mass wave of DMCA takedowns because the way that Twitch works is if a record company contacts Twitch and says, "Hey, we have to remove this," they pretty much do it. There's no legal battle, and they don't want to get in a legal battle over the streamer. So they tell streamers, if you get 3 strikes, you're banned forever. So that caused a scare for about 24 hours when I saw the most defiant user base of all time. It's like, oh, these people think that they're gonna ban me, even though they said they're gonna ban me. I'll just play more copyrighted music, and then eventually,
they were banned.
Yeah, and then eventually, come October, Twitch is like, hey, we suggest you delete your content or we will ban you. We don't know what content is copyrighted, so here's a tool to delete everything. And that's kind of messed up. Like, really,
it's completely fucked up.
Yeah,
literally every other platform in the universe has some sort of way to track that auto DMCA stuff and just either delete the content or mute it or whatever like that. But Twitch is literally fucking owned by Amazon, or it's a subsidiary of Amazon or whatever. Like, you would think they would have some tool in place for this. Like, it makes absolutely no sense. It's actually quite upsetting.
Yeah, that's okay. I shouldn't say kind of fucked up. That's the worst thing on Twitch's end, is that they said that they have no recourse. Basically, we don't know what your content is, and you can't appeal it if we've determined this is bad, and you should delete everything in order to. Not get banned on our platform your entire career. But I will say there were so many things that were pointing to this that I have a lot more sympathy for Twitch and a lot less sympathy for other parties involved. First of all, if you are a streamer, of course, music is going to enhance some streams, like Hearthstone, for example. Like, no one wants to hear the Hearthstone music.
Yeah, games with like Dom time and stuff like that.
But there's been tools like Monster Cat that have been around for a while, and we all know that it's not fair use to just play music on your stream. Like, you could argue that, but that's not how fair use works.
I mean, a lot of music is like, it's pretty easy to find music that isn't DMCA-able, as long as you're not playing like Hot 100 type shit. You're probably fine. Like, a lot of EDM from artists that like no one has ever heard of, that everyone probably has one that they enjoy. They're probably fine for a lot of that stuff. The biggest people who I feel are impacted by a lot of this are the people in the music game community, from my understanding.
Yeah, I mean, like, those people aren't really at fault here. I mean, just because like they're literally trying to play their game, and their game has a lot of customs, and like they just can't stream it anymore because they're scared that. Well, a lot of them can stream. They're actually going to other platforms like DLive and stuff like that because they have lax copyright. But eventually, those will also get hit. It's not like it's not like they really have copyright law and algorithms in their favor. But people in the custom rhythm game scene, they are playing charts that are technically illegal. I don't know if you know the difference between syncing rights and just regular music copyright.
Well, they're literally like,
they're mega illegal.
Like, their content is literally like playing music illegally, and that, like, how many songs are in the music game community? Like 1 million. Like, those songs weren't paid for each individual person. Like, those are shared around freely. Like, it's
honestly, like, there's a reason why simfile groups on like Facebook and stuff are private, because they know they're sharing music illegally. But it's not only that they're sharing music illegally and don't have the rights to play for it, but syncing rights, which is the syncing of music to something like syncing to arrows is one thing. But like, if you ever see like a commercial that has like a song in the background, and like it might do like cuts specifically to certain parts in the song, like YMCA might have like parts of the commercial, like, oh, if your business has a Y, then like put the Y to the Y in YMCA or something like that. Syncing is a different part of rights. So like, you're talking about people who don't have rights from multiple aspects trying to stream their game. Like, they're hyper illegal in the Twitch world. So they're kind of screwed.
You don't see it as much in the dance game community as you do in the Clone Hero and Guitar Hero communities. The Clone Hero and Guitar Hero communities are very blessed that they have so many artists that make music specifically for those games, is that I don't think those guys will be as affected, because there are hundreds and hundreds of songs that are made by artists versus I feel like a lot of ITG and DDR music is like straight up like copywritten like music. And
the worry I have, and like, yeah, I think those people are more safe, but I don't think they're safe in that I don't think Twitch has a distinction between, if you're playing Rock Band, this copyrighted song is perfectly fine to play. Like, I'm talking specifically about customs. Like there are a lot of artists like the Métier and like stuff like that, Exile Lord, that make music specifically for Clone Hero and Guitar Hero and stuff like that. I mean, it is an interesting question though. With like, for example, the Beatles Rock Band. If you're playing the Beatles Rock Band, are you gonna get a DMCA from Twitch because Twitch doesn't understand that the game has Beatles in it? Are you allowed to stream the Beatles Rock Band? I don't even know this.
Or like think of it as you're playing like a Grand Theft Auto game. You're listening to the radio in game. Like, is that like okay? Like
there are questions that we are not lawyers and cannot answer. We can only postulate. I have a feeling this is going to be really problematic, and it's only going to get worse, not get better. And there's two more things I want to say. The one thing, I keep seeing all these people delete everything, and I'm so pissed at them because I am a small-time streamer that has had a archive of all my content that I've just... All I have to do is I go to my videos and I just hit export to YouTube, and I have literally all my streams for the last like 4 years on YouTube. So I don't have to delete everything on Twitch and be like, oh, it's gone forever. Why don't I, like, if you have a bunch of highlights and you're worried about them, just download them and upload them somewhere later.
Well, a lot of people are downloading them and stuff like that. To be fair, if you look at a lot of top streamers, like, they are not the most technical people, and when they started streaming, a lot of these tools were not available, and they just hit go live and are just like, I don't fucking know, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the top streamers are carried way more by their personality than ability to, like, understand the best in the streaming technology or like what software space. But these people have editors. They literally have people whose career is to edit their streams. Like, you would expect them to like have like that's why it really sucks when you have people like Dan's Gaming. I think he deleted like 9 years of clips or something like that. I forget. One streamer like made the news.
Or like all like the TSM people who like deleted all their clips with like all like the highlights and stuff like that. Like, to be fair though, like people like XQC, he's like, yeah, I downloaded like 4 terabytes of fucking clips and stuff like that.
Well, what I'm saying is I feel like people are completely overblowing like that sort of impact. I will say though, the people, and they're getting a lot of blame this time around, and I'm happy about it, but they're still not getting as much blame as they should, are the record labels, are the laws surrounding DMCA. I will caveat your point. You said it was written by boomers. It wasn't. It was written by 40-year-old lawyers, but they were 40 years old in 1990. So these laws have not been updated since the early days of the World Wide Web.
They're so antiquated and make no sense in today's age. Like, I listen to, I'm a huge fan of Destiny, and he's always making the point, like, if I could pay $1,000 a month to have a license to listen to, like, let's say Apple Music or something like that, I would pay it just so I could listen to music and stuff like that. Like, I feel like it's that easy. Like, make these top streamers pay like a licensing fee to listen to Spotify or to something or something, like, I feel like this is such an easy fix that you can monetize like incredibly easy and stuff like that.
I've heard rumbles of this actually like gonna happen, but it's not gonna happen like you think. It's not gonna happen at all in a convenient way. It's not gonna be Apple Music. It's not gonna be Spotify. It's gonna be per record label. So you're gonna have to get a UMG prescription, and then it's like, oh, this artist that I thought like I want to play, sorry, they're on a different record label. I can't do that.
So to me, that just comes off as like what happened with the streaming services problem. Everyone was on Netflix, and then shows went off that, and suddenly that's on like Hulu, and then suddenly other stuff's on Disney Plus, and it's like, well, now you have 18 different streaming things. So it's just like, put it all in one place, charge people for it, and they'll pay for it. Especially these big streamers, they'll give you like tens of thousands of dollars.
They're
so
never
listen to fucking music.
They're never gonna do the easy way. Okay, they're gonna make it really annoying, really complicated, really expensive, and then everyone's going to pirate everything, and then everyone's going to be happy, except for the record labels who's going to crack down, and then they're going to make it really hard to pirate, and then they're going to make an easy solution because people revolt, and then the easy solution is going to be too easy, so then they're going to break it up and make it more complicated, more expensive, and then people are going to pirate. And then the record labels are going to...
fair, pirate was, like, for, like, 20 years, pirating was scary easy. Like,
yeah, I find it easier a lot of the time to buy shit now.
Yeah, well, you really, like, you can actually get fucked unless you, like, if you pirate nowadays. Like, you can seriously get in a lot of trouble. And a lot of kids nowadays, like, I speak to kids online, and they're like, why would I pirate anything? Like, it's like a thing that, like, like back in the day, like how many copies of fucking Photoshop did you pirate? Like hundreds of.
There's like
shit like that.
There's pirate as in like watch free movie online. There's pirate as in download song free, and then there's pirate as in like torrent program and torrent. Or like,
well, I would like to think most people over the age of like 26, like that are listening to this podcast, at some point, like we've all probably pirated like 10 grand worth of fucking software back in the day. Like,
yeah, probably. I mean, I don't know a single person who paid for Fruity Loops.
No, like you didn't pay for Fruity Loops. You pirated Adobe Premiere. You pirated, fucking Photoshop.
Like, it was a meme that like every single 13-year-old had Sony Vegas.
Yeah, exactly. Which I think is kind of going in the right direction. I think it's cool that kids actually like want to pay for things and stuff like that. But I think it may stunt creativity because these kids aren't having these programs readily in their hands to make cool content.
Are you sure it's not the TikTok and the YouTube on the smartphone? Back in my day, I had to go outside and get fresh air, but kids these days are glued to their phones. They don't get real social interaction like people in my age.
What are you talking about? Like, fucking, when I was a kid, I fucking played video games all fucking day.
I'm doing a
like
boomer impression. Do you know the amount of times my mom has said, people don't know how to communicate anymore? I'm like, no, they do.
Dude, as like, I hate like boomers say that and they're like on their phones.
Yeah, 100%. My mom's on Facebook constantly and she's like, people don't know how to communicate anymore. Why have you not accepted my friend request? Are you not your mom's friend? I'm like, I'm gonna explode. But
do you have your friend, your family on Facebook?
Well, the thing is, I did, and then I just stopped using Facebook forever, so now it doesn't matter.
I refuse to add any family to my Facebook because I have a picture of myself as a dog, like holding a gun. So it's like, I don't want to have to deal with my mom. She keeps sending me friends requests. I'm just like, I do not want to get linked your boomer shit. Like,
just invite her to Music Game Hell. She'll see your post there.
I don't think anyone should go there, to be honest.
Yo,
Segway.
What, like the vehicle? Like the
Segway,
the scooter vehicle that like you push with your body. You know what I'm talking about? You see those on tours? Segway? No, you ever see, like, you know that like the guy who invented the Segway died driving a Segway off a cliff? I'm not even joking.
Yeah, then he was like trying to test it. He like flew off a cliff.
Yeah, he Segwayed off a cliff. I'm sorry for laughing, but it's just so stupid. Like, oh my god, like I can't say that and it sounds real, but it is. He's Segwayed off a cliff.
At the mall. Like, I think Segways are exclusively used by mall security now, because like every mall in the United States, their security rides Segways around.
Paul Blart training video.
Like, that's actually a thing. Actual Segway, Chipotle reveals that it killed the free tortilla side.
Correction. If you order online, you could get a double wrapped burrito. So that's technically free tortilla. If you go in person, they will charge you for the double wrapped burrito tortilla.
Here's the life hack. And what I used to do is I used to get a burrito bowl because they will give you more food than in a burrito. So what you do is you get the burrito bowl and you go, can I get split protein? Can I get half chicken, half steak? And they'll give you like 3/4 of a scoop for both of them instead of one scoop. And then you get the tortilla on the side and put all your shit in a tortilla, and then you have a big ass burrito. I can no longer do that, and that upsets me. But I mean, that's like the exact reason why I'm not supposed to do that.
Yeah,
but what
the reason why they actually canceled that is because too many people were like trying to maximize their meals during the pandemic because times are tough.
Yeah. Oh no, we're trying to eat. We're trying to eat, son.
I say we just take over Chipotle, like animal style, like
do
the fries from In-N-Out, just like our militia, you and me.
Do you like Chipotle?
I do, of course. That's why I want to take one over.
Their carne asada is so good.
All I could really get is the chicken. Have you ever seen a single person get tacos at Chipotle? That's like sociopathic.
Yes. White suburban people all the time.
That's straight up sociopathic. You gotta know that they're really like they're giving you like a third the food of a burrito.
It's mostly for kids. It's always for like kids or like fucking 14-year-old white girls.
I remember someone was like making an online order of tacos like for the person, like I don't know, some person wasn't there yet, and like they put like 1 cube of meat in each taco. I'm like, this is the worst deal in the history of deals.
Like 1 lonely cube of meat in each taco.
Yeah, it was like I'm not exaggerating. It was that,
Dude,
and like
can we
some
talk
lettuce.
about portion size at Chipotle? That shit pisses me off though. Like sometimes you'll go to like certain Chipotles and they give you like half a scoop of fucking meat, and the other times they're like they hook it the fuck up.
Every single time. Well, first of all, like I'm not sure if you ever go double meat, but
Yeah,
you don't
I do.
tell them you go in double meat until they already scoop the first meat.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're getting ripped off. But every single time we go to Chipotle, I like go absolute make it rain, like double meat and guac. They're like, this is the biggest burrito I've ever seen, sir. I'm like, I know.
Yeah, I'm like, roll that shit up. So what I always do, since I'm a baby boy bitch and I don't get anything on it, I just get steak, cheese, and rice. I always go, hey, I'm not getting other stuff. Can I get extra rice? Can you put as much rice as you can physically handle inside this burrito?
I always get extra rice and they don't put a fuss anyway. You're allowed to get extra rice for free.
I know, but it's like I work in retail, so it's like, oh, can you do this for me, please? Like I try to be as nice as possible.
If I was working at Chipotle, I would just I would be fired in like 2 days. Could be like, I'll hook you up. Here's like a burrito that's literally all meat. Just it's a giant.
Dude, I went there the other night and they hooked me the fuck up. I think like if you use your like customer service voice, like I'm always like, oh, thank you so much. Like, oh, you're the best, man. Like, oh, this is the best. Thank you so much. Like he gave me so much meat. He gave me 3 scoops of meat, and then he gave me as a 3-pointer. Do you know what a 3-pointer is?
Like, did he fire the burrito across the room by your
okay?
Like,
so each topping or protein has a point value. So it's like meat is 2 points, rice is 1 point, and then cheese is 1 point. So a 3-point burrito is like $2.50 cheaper than like an actual burrito. So if you just get like steak and rice, it's like $5 for like a burrito. But if you get cheese on it, it's like an extra $2.50. So
he just hooked you up. He gave you a cheaper burrito.
He gave me the cheaper burrito and like triple the meat. So I was like, hell yeah.
I liked my idea where he just chucked it across the room. Like you didn't even catch it; it just explodes on the floor. That's the type of burrito I want.
Dude, we should make fucking free throw burritos. Like that should be our restaurant. Like you like make their food and then you just whip it like against the wall.
Just whip it. Not even at them. Just at the wall. They could pick it up. Whatever they have left.
Eat it.
No, you don't have to scream it. You just do it. In fact, if you're more silent, then it's better because then they don't really. They're confused and they're scared, and you're not like yelling at them. You're just like you go back to work.
I just want to scream at people.
I mean, we could do that. We could do that too. That'll be our prank video, screaming at children.
Back on the topic of DMCA, did you see that fucking Google Stadia guy that posted that completely out of touch tweet?
Google Stadia out of touch? Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
So this guy, Alex Hutchinson, which apparently he removed the I work for Google Stadia or is like from his Twitter bio. He basically was like, streamers worried about getting their content pulled because they use music they didn't pay for should be more worried about the fact that they're streaming games they didn't pay for as well. It's like, are they not aware that like streamers are frequently paid to play a lot of the games that we play? Like how many games like went off? Like Genshin Impact? That game would not be anywhere near as popular if like every major streamer wasn't played to play.
Yo, imagine if Among Us wasn't played by streamers.
Like no one would play it. But
the game was literally out for 2 years.
To be fair, Among Us wasn't paid to be played by streamers.
Yeah, but it's not even about just like the paid sponsorships. Like obviously the fact that they're paying streamers to play games shows that they know the power that streamers have for like advertising games. But like certain games have been made or broken by their streaming audience. Like Artifact is the one that's obviously talked about.
Did you remember the Artifact directory?
Yeah,
on
like
Twitch?
they literally had to create new rules on Twitch for like 2FA for every single streamer because of so much porn being posted there.
They
Jesus
were just
Christ.
streaming porn in the Artifact directory because the game was so shit. That was amazing. Or like full movies and stuff like that.
It reminds me like that fucking Hexagon game. What was it? Like, did you get any of those free emotes for that recent release that all sucked? Like the Hex goes burr emote.
I'm always getting free fucking emotes on Twitch. I never understand why.
I have so many emotes. A single emote does not mean anything to me now.
Do you find yourself getting gifted subs like all the fucking time? Like I just joined random streams and it's like, oh, you're gifted a sub for the stream. I'm like, oh, I was watching it for 10 minutes.
Yeah, or I was not watching it. I've never heard of the streamer and now I have a gifted sub to them and I'm never going to use these emotes because, okay, I already subbed to way too many people. I'm not going to tell you how many people I subbed to because you're going to think I have a problem. But on top of that,
over 30?
No, it's not. Thank God. But on top of that, at any given time, I have like 10 gifted subs. And then on top of that, Twitch has like events like the Hyperscape. That's the game I was thinking of. Hyperscape emotes. They now have like K-pop emotes. They have like so many random events, and the emotes never go away. So like trying to go through my emotes is literally a chore at this point. I have too many emotes for them to matter. And like
the biggest thing is their emote interface sucks.
Yeah, it does.
It's like
it's way worse on mobile
emotes
too.
You want to use. Yeah, it's like fucking terrible.
It's just the worst, and it's never going to go away because they can't get rid of any emotes because the one community that uses them is going to be like, Twitch is not friendly, so they're in a lose-lose situation. They really just have to have the way to like filter emotes. The problem is like the emotes are not necessarily bad in that like they're not badly like designed. It's not like just like some kid in Microsoft Paint drew a like goatsy.
No, they're really good.
They're not really good. They're just so generic that it's like I don't need this. This doesn't invoke emotion.
I prefer using like Frank Your Face Z or like a better Twitch TV because I think like a lot of those emotes are like so much better. Like the animated emotes and stuff like that are so much fucking cooler than the default Twitch ones.
Yeah, GIF emotes are pretty cool. But I mean, like back on the whole Hyperscape thing, or not Hyperscape thing, but like streaming audience thing. Like you could tell that like streaming makes or breaks so many games by the fact that like companies like Hyperscape like literally did a massive ad campaign where like Twitch is like, oh, get free Hyperscape emotes, and like no one wanted them, but like they were still willing to like spend millions of dollars probably on their advertising campaign because they wanted to be associated with streaming. Massive failure, by the way. I think the Hyperscape directory, despite the fact that like thousands, if not millions of people have their Hyperscape emotes now, only has like 500 to 700 people watching the game at any given time.
So all they had to do was pay like the top streamers to play it. That's all you have to do. Like the money that they could have completely ignored any of that and just pay like Forsen, Soda, Asmongold, or even like some of the middle tier streamers like Destiny or like Ludwig, Miskiff, like all those people, pay them to play the fucking game. You're going to be spending 10 to 20K on them and stuff like that for like an hour or two, but you're going to get way more return on investment on some fucking arbitrary system that doesn't even show off the game. You know
that like the top streamers have like a bounty page, right?
Yeah.
Like for those who don't know, if you think that Twitch partner is like the end all be all at Twitch, that's not the case.
It's bounties.
There's partner, and then I don't think it has an official name, but people call it super partner. Partner is the standard. You get the check mark, you get more emotes, etc. But it's really not that much of a step up from affiliate besides a few key features. When you really start getting into like the nitty gritty, getting into the money making. That's when you get the super partner. So basically, I think it's anyone that really averages over 1,000 viewers or more. I think it might actually be a little bit higher. I think it might be a couple thousand. But it unlocks things like $350 a month or $350 per sub instead of $250 per sub. But you also get access to this thing called bounties, where it's a literal dashboard of companies that want streamers to play their game, and you will get like paid. They have like rates. It's like, oh, we'll pay you a $500 flat rate if you play this game for an hour, or like we'll pay you like per view like 5 cents, which doesn't sound much, but when you have like 10,000,
well, it'll be like different. Like my understanding it's different platitudes. So it's like, oh, you'll get paid this amount if you have X amount of viewers, but you get paid like 10K if you have this amount of concurrence or stuff like that. So it's like you can seriously make like tens of thousands of dollars a day fucking just doing bounties. But the thing is, if you get banned or have any strikes against your account, your bounties are removed. So there's been some controversy in the past with streamers getting like falsely flagged or like
I think they like
for, like,
sue Twitch
shit.
or something to get it back, or something
and they
like that.
they get their bounties removed, and that was like half their income. So it's like,
but the reason I brought that up, it's not even hard for a company to like try to advertise to the top streamers now. That's the funny thing. Like they're like it's so easy if you are a company with a lot of money to get your game streamed to massissive audiences, and that's really all it takes.
Especially if you're a variety streamer and you're just looking for random ass shit to play. Like people like Soda, they literally they play marbles on stream. If you don't know what that is. That's a game where you can have marbles fly down a track, and you have arbitrary things they can say or do people and stuff like that. But he picks a random ass game and puts them on each marble, and whatever marble wins, he plays that game. Like you literally go to any variety streamer and say, "Hey, here's 10K. You want to play this game for an hour?" And they'll probably play it because they're just looking for shit to play. Like that. To me, that's better advertising than throwing fucking millions of dollars at fucking emotes that no one cares about.
I want money.
I want money. Give me money.
I want candy. Bubblegum and taffy. You know what I'm talking about. No one else was.
Yeah.
Well, Aqua Teen Hunger Force reference.
MCP pants.
Yeah, apparently like really, really not bad, but kind of like apparently he has a really disappointing concert. Like if you like look at like the Reddit threads, like who is the most disappointing concert you've seen? Like a lot of people say MCP pants. Well, not MCP pants. MC Chris, who plays MCP pants.
I used to love MC Chris back in the day. Like his Star Wars rap is pretty good.
I don't even know anything out of besides Aqua Teen, besides like maybe like he has a song like The Tussin or something like that about doing Robotussin.
The Tussin.
Yeah, that one.
Didn't there's an ITG step artist that stepped one of his songs. I can't
It
think
was
of the
The
name
Tussin.
of it. No, it wasn't The Tussin. It was I don't want to say his name. Oh my god, I can't think of it. Oh well, that makes me look like a shithead, but whatever.
Yeah, we'll just like end the podcast on you going off for like I'll loop it for like 2 to 3 hours.
I
thought we were doing like a System Is Down Homestar Runner type remix. Oh my god! What? We talked about everything, right? It was a busy week, and we did the busy shit.
We did the busy.
We got business done. Was this podcast for business or for pleasure?
I definitely pleasured myself throughout the entire time.
I didn't see that. You must be that's stealthy.
So I just got a random video on fucking Twitter that it's like gameplay from Mortal Kombat 11 Rambo. I'm gonna link this to you real quick. You may have to pause it for a second to watch it. Like just watch that a little bit.
Is that Rambo?
Yeah, he's in Mortal Kombat 11. So I guess the point I'm making with this is it almost makes me feel nauseous how real the gore is. Like it's literally them like pushing their fingers in their eye sockets and like the eyes are exploding and then like zooms in on the face with like the skull and like his agony and stuff like that. Like it's so realistic looking, it almost makes me feel nauseous. And this comes from someone that loves like gore anime, who loves like old school like gore video games, stuff like that. Like this is like it's getting to like snuff film levels of like detail, you know? It's like
I can't wait for the Serbian film video game.
Yeah. I just think
tap A to birth the child.
I'm not watching that movie. I just think it's gonna get to a point where graphics get so good that I think there's gonna be an argument of like it's no longer like it's just a video game. It's like this like emulates real life as far as like how like visceral it is, you know?
I mean, that was a pretty brutal throat ripping out. Jesus Christ.
Are you watching it?
Yeah, I just finished watching it. Out of that entire video, the main argument I have is why Rambo? Like, of all the characters, why Rambo?
I mean, he's like have you ever seen the Rambo movies?
Like, I haven't. I'm aware of but like Rambo as a franchise, like, do people care about Rambo? I guess like the people who play Mortal Kombat 11 are probably all like 40 by now, like if they still follow the Mortal Kombat series.
I mean, I think a lot of people know who Rambo is, and it's not necessarily him as a license. It's more so like he's a gory character that you could probably do some cool things with. So
I'm just like thinking of like all like Rambo, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's cool. I mean, plus the people who developed this game are probably all boomers, so it's like whatever.
I think that violence in video games has gotten very realistic, but I also think that there's kind of a consumer, not even revolt, because I feel like it's just there are a lot of people who don't necessarily care about violence that did before. I'm not saying like people like cared that it was violent, but like there was almost like a level of like violence equals cool, especially like I'm trying to think of like 2006 Call of Duty. It's just like I'm shooting these guys. That's so cool, man.
Here's the thing. There's a difference between like for example, Doom, that's pretty gory and stuff like that, but you're like killing zombies and their heads exploding. This literally zooms in on like their skull structure, and you can see like them in agony, like bleeding out their ears with like their eyeballs exploding in like excruciatingly detail. Versus no other game has this like level of attention to, I guess, fucking
chiller maybe
distress. Yeah, just chiller. So actually, we should have played that this week. Oh well.
Yeah, I guess we still have next week for a Halloween. I think we're recording on Halloween, by the way.
Are we really? Oh, that's exciting. It'll be spooky.
But no, what like the reason why games like Mortal Kombat were like super big back in the day, and I think violence was a part of it, but I think it was more about like,
I loved those games though.
Yeah, but I feel like people enjoyed that because like, oh, they're finally adding realism to games. Like people were like self-censoring because like, oh, blood in a video game. Come on.
See, that's why I liked those games, because that was really cool, like the violence and gore and stuff like that. You're like ripping people's skulls out and stuff like that. But because it was, cartoony, it was, animated, it was a video game. I'm purely talking on the level of realism that games have gotten to nowadays is the problem for me.
No, but like
as far as
the thing about it is that I don't think that they're making this for like a large audience anymore. Like, first of all, of course, fighting games are a splintered community versus the regular gaming community.
This game is absolutely huge, though. Like, it's still really big.
Yeah, but I feel like it's just another niche at this point, hyper-violence. Like, maybe I should be more alarmist.
This game is, I mean, this is like AAA. Like,
no, it's like, AAA, but like still, even like AAA games, like there's AAA sports games, I'm not going to play those. Like, if there's AAA fighting games, there's AAA shooting games.
Like, tens of millions of people play these games. It's not like... That to me, that's not very niche.
It's not like niche as in like the definition of like 4 people in a basement, like all like it's niche as in like there are people who like only basketball versus only baseball. Like,
I don't find those niche. When I think of niche, I think of things that are like very particular versus like a lot of people like certain things. Like, I don't think something that like tens or 20 million people enjoy is very niche.
But
we gotta look up the definition of niche.
What I'm trying to say here is that, like, yeah, you and me, I mean, I'm less disgusted about it than you are, I guess, but I feel like there's a consumer revolt is too strong of a word, but like people kind of used to just like, oh, there's violence in video games. I guess I can't really avoid that unless I like only play Nintendo products. But there's just like such a varied market now that like if you don't like what they're doing in Mortal Kombat, if you're disgusted by the gore, there are like so many other games you could play, especially in the same genre, that it's not a really big concern. I don't think that it's also going to be a massive concern in the industry or like people are going to get involved.
I wasn't referring to like that being an issue or anything like that. Like it's fine. I was just commenting like, holy shit, like this looks crazy now. It was more like, whoa, what the fuck, man, type thing.
The future, graphics, technology. We live in a time and place where you could say hi to your
commercial. You remember we had a commercial?
Bum, bum, bum.
It's like
bum, bum, bum.
It's like
synergy.
Synergy.
Yeah. We live in a time where you could say hi to your granddaughter in Japan and in the same day say hi to your escort in Mexico. Toyota. Hey guys, so if you liked the episode, make sure to follow Virtual Homework Podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and rate it 5 stars if you can.
Or if you hate it, do 5 stars anyway, or I will find you.
If you rate it less than 5 stars, Dan will be bound and gagged on a train track.
Wait, what?